All right. So we are talking about reviving New Year's resolutions today. New Year's resolutions usually are goals for the year. So all of these books are books about goals and goal setting. One of the books relates to psycho something, and another one of the books focuses on career goals. And it's a really good book. It's a really quick book to read. Another of the books focuses on SMART goals, right? SMART goals are really popular within education. And the other one, something about winners goal book or something like that. And we'll start with that today. And the final one is part of a series by an author named Robert Rigby. And don't know a whole lot about Robert Rigby, but just looking into who he is when I was looking for the books. He's a journalist, I think, and an author. He writes books, he has a book series, but he's also written scripts and things like that. He focuses on youth as an audience, and said he's done quite a bit of work in the United States, United Kingdom, and Africa. So that's what I remember reading on Wikipedia yesterday. And so I'm really excited. I'll probably get into that book on Friday and hopefully just push through one of the itineraries today because it's just goal setting. I mean, it should be pretty straightforward. And then I'll be able to pick up on what I didn't finish last week before closing the live and then hopefully posting those things today. Because today is also Holocaust Remembrance Day. I did see a couple of posts about it, but I've been thinking about how to make a connection between Holocaust and trafficking. I was looking that up this morning to see how they're similar, and I did find one article, a pretty good article, that said that there are quite a few similarities between the two. I didn't read it. I just was kind of looking to see, some potential directions to take the post. And I think I'll take it that way. But we'll see what connects come up. A lot of times when I post these things, when I watch these videos, I do connect things intentionally, and that's the intention behind it. But there are a lot more things that come up than I initially try to. But if something comes up where I can, I can run with this one because it kind of touches on something from before, like Robert Rigby reviving resolutions and talking about rolling in our double R's into the new year, which is from a post before. So, and the two R's from that were rhyme and reason, but also the fact that there were two right itineraries or two right bookings on the itinerary. And that's really exciting. So when I saw it was a book by Robert Rigby, I thought, okay, great. But then I had to make sure that he was a good author to work with, because it seemed like it would be a pretty popular book, but like a book that would get a lot of attention. So I wanted to make sure that it garnered other positivity, especially because we're talking about reviving goals. And yeah, I think it fits incredibly well. So let's go ahead and start with that. I don't have any need to go into the itinerary library today. I've pretty much introduced everything. I have not gone in and updated the workshops. I need to put all the workshops that I've done and put them into the list, which wouldn't take a lot of time, but it's something I have to do. And yeah, you're welcome to go ahead and join the library, the website. The website has actually not kept its position as the top priority. Yeah, I need to make a list of a few things that I have to do. I made quite a few strides. And so I need to make some others. One thing that I mentioned before was hiring. I do need to hire for one position, maybe two. And so that means I have to get my EIN. And as soon as I get my EIN, I'll go in for my DUNS number as well. So then I'll have to get a business bank account, a new business bank account. I'll also have to finalize my Amazon business account. And I have to figure out what's going on with my domain name for the website, which is pretty much the barrier right now. And I imagine it's for a reason. Probably have to do something else to the website. Domain name. And then next thing you know, it'll be time for me to do a little bit more with syntaxes. So with that in mind, those are some goals that I have. And hopefully these books can help me to get some of these things done with the business, even though they're not hard. It's one of those things where I could probably do all of this in a day, in an hour, if a couple of things that I'm reading on have come through. But that momentum can be pretty intimidating sometimes. Now, the one goal that I really will probably think about on my own when I'm looking at this is the daily posting, which I already need to revive. I haven't posted every day. That's one of those goals where I don't know how to. I have to figure out a different way of thinking about it for me to make it a daily thing to post. It's like maybe my posts won't be as punny, right? I'm not going for punny posts, a punny post every day. Yeah. So, I don't know, current events. I said that I'd rather post on, or I prefer to post on YouTube and Threads. And I need to post on Facebook. I really, truly do. I mean, I need to do that. But the thing about Facebook is that you can change the date on your posts, which is concerning. So in case you didn't know that, I don't think that's possible for Instagram. I mean, of course, I'm sure there must be some way to make that possible for maybe if you pay for a certain type of subscription. But on Facebook, you can change the date of posts. And it makes it different. When you're posting, it's kind of like what matters in a post if the timing is irrelevant, right? It's the way all the posts are kind of put together. And I think that's cool. So the way that I think about Facebook is different than how I'll think about Instagram, even though the Instagram color scheme, is red because it's a pun, because books are red. You read books that red. Originally, the colors, or the main color for pagesdale was green, and the slogan was communicate across peaks and valleys. And my main offering was ESOL education for businesses. But, I hadn't been teaching nearly as long. And, it didn't matter. I went to a few places, long introduction today. I went to a few places to try to be able to teach. And yeah. I'm planning on keeping the color scheme that I have because books are red. They're black and white like the newspaper. There's red and black and white all over. So that's why I chose red. Okay, because we're moving over to books. It's always been about pages. But the pages in the early days, it was more about beginning with the language, right? Those who are page in terms of their language proficiency. And so now it's changed to book pages. All right. So let's go ahead and look at the first book for the week. I did get those posted, which is good. And we'll just jump on into Internet Archive. All right, this was the first one that I had listed. All right, a winner's workbook, how to select and achieve your goals in life using transactional analysis and psycho-cybernetics to plan and manage your future. This was published in 1978. Transactional analysis. All right, so what is transactional analysis and what exactly is psycho-cybernetics? So let's get into that. It's not a very long book. Some appropriate thoughts. Let's read the appropriate thoughts. Self-analysis is like giving oneself a haircut. With sufficient practice, it can be done. If we are to get more living out of life, we should not limit the channels through which life may come to us. We must accept it, whether it comes in the form of science, religion, psychology, or whatnot. Okay, psycho-cybernetics. Few people are 100% winners or 100% losers. It's a matter of degree. However, once a person is on the road to becoming a winner, his chances are greater for becoming even more so. There is an essential essential difference, however, between a man and a billiard ball. Man, through thought, is able to look at the future. All right, let's look at the contents. How come this workbook? Warming up, getting to know yourself and your self-image. How are you using your life energy? Selecting your goals in life, developing a new self-image. Your program for positive personal development, getting on with becoming a comfortable winner. Ooh, further help and self-discovery out of my own experience. Some handy hints for personal development, what autonomy means to me. Homework. But I didn't see the word goal not one time. Didn't see cybernetics there either. Yes, I did. There's goals right there. Setting your goals in life. There it is. Excuse me. Sorry. How are you using your life energy? Warming up. How come this workbook? Getting to know yourself and self-image. Following is a list of TA transactional analysis. Much of it is based on the TA way of looking at individual personality and human destiny. Following is a list of TA terms and definitions you will encounter in this workbook. On page 16, you will find a conceptual diagram of individual personality and another on page 17 demonstrating formal life scripts. Parent, an ego state borrowed from a parental figure. It may be nurturing or controlling. Adult, an ego state oriented towards objectivity, autonomous data processing, and probability estimating. Child, an archaic ego state. The adapted child follows parental directives. The natural child is autonomous. Ego state, a consistent pattern of feeling and experience directly related to a corresponding consistent pattern of behavior. I find this hard to read, like the print is too small or something, too skinny. Oops. Decision, a childhood commitment to a certain form of behavior which later forms the basis of character. Decision. Script. A life plan based on a decision made in childhood, reinforced by the parents, justified by the subsequent events, and culminating in a chosen alternative. Scripty behavior. Behavior which seems motivated by a script rather than by rational considerations. Script matrix. A diagram showing the patternal directions which form the basis of a script. Drama triangle. A simple diagram showing the possible switches of roles in a game or script. The three major roles are persecutor, victim, and rescuer. Illusion. An unlikely hope which the child clings to and which influences all his decisive behavior. Injunction. A prohibition or negative command from a parent. Okay, let's see. What's the word? Wow. Life script matrix. Wow, it's actually drawn out here. All right, this is the ego states diagram. Um, my critical parent, my nurturing parent, my adult, my adapted child, my little professor. Little professor wasn't on the previous page. Natural child. Did I skip over little professor? I did not. Okay, I do appreciate a good diagram, but this is kind of I kind of have a headache today. Adult, 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 parent, child, parent. Oh, okay. So the affirmatives from a parent guide our adult behavior, and the negatives drive the child behavior. Is that what we're saying here? Interesting. This book is also not so long. Psycho-cybernetics define the area of possible. All right, selecting your goals in life. In setting goals for yourself, it is important to select objectives that are realistic, that you want to attain, and that you enjoy. Yes. And that's where I'm at right now with the posting every day, is making it something that I want to attain and that I enjoy. It doesn't feel like something I want to attain. I think it's something I could enjoy, but there's something about posting every day. Many people, it's what I need to do though. There's so much flexibility along with posting every day. It just feels inflexible, I guess. Many people achieve goals only to find themselves unhappy because they have been doing what they feel they ought to do or should do. In other words, they make a parent-adapted child choice rather than an adult natural child choice. Yeah. So I think according to this, it seems like a good way to kind of revive a resolution would be to rephrase it. Rephrase it. That's what I'm getting from this little piece. Rephrase the resolution. Parent-adapted child life with their goals tend to be reflections of the programming to which little kids adapt through the influence of parent figures. When they grow up, parent in them has messages like, all right, so here's one thing, right? One of the most common ways to arrange for failure is to be general instead of specific and fail to break down goals into steps. There is little chance for success for the person who says, someday I want to be the president of a company. I mean, I'm not sure I agree with that. I think that there's a lot of power in not limiting yourself to how you get somewhere, right? Because I've heard that too. There's a great chance for success for the person who says, by age 55, I expect to be president of this company, and these are the steps I'm willing to take. A winner selects a specific and appropriate primary goal and the specific and appropriate secondary goals necessary to achieve the primary goal. Winners know that lofty deeds are usually accomplished through a series of down-to-earth steps. They also know there will be ups and downs along the way and that they can make adult decisions to change direction when circumstances beyond their control put negative pressures on them. Wars, depressions, recessions, hurricanes, and other acts of God are not deterred by one person's choice of destiny. In order to select a primary goal appropriate for you, check back over the ego state messages you wrote down earlier concerning some situation, attitude, or behavior you wish to change. If you had difficulty with nurturing parent messages, you are not uncommon. Some people cannot remember any nurturing messages from their childhood. In this case, you can make an adult decision to write your own nurturing messages that say it is okay to become the person you want to become. On a separate piece of paper, practice writing some primary decisions that you might like to make for yourself and see how specific you can be. These examples may be of help to you. I will be a pleasant person rather than I'd like to be a more pleasant person. Okay. The list of potentially rewarding changes is almost endless. The important thing to remember is that your goal will satisfy the needs of your natural child, and that your expectations of achievement will be based on adult reality and objectivity. This is not to say that it is not appropriate at times that you show decent consideration for others in making your choice of goals. You are not giving up your autonomy if you say, I want to be in business for myself, but I am willing to wait 3 years until my daughter gets married or finishes school. Nor is it appropriate to cast off all of the parent messages to become autonomous. My mother greatly influenced me to be a fiction writer. Writing fiction was drudgery for me. Eventually, I decided that writing was an okay thing for me, but that I would write about the things I like to write about, real people, their problems, and ways to resolve those problems. That's so interesting to me. Because everyone always seems so into fiction. Like fiction this, fiction that, man. I am just not, I can't get into it. I can't sit down and read it. I mean, I think, you know what? You know what the truth is? I think I just realized what it is. I like to skip around when I read, and you can't really do that when you're reading fiction. But with nonfiction, you can jump around from chapter to chapter, stuff like that, and still get something out of it. I think that's the real reason why I like nonfiction. Because with nonfiction, it's not sequential. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is if you're telling the story, but it doesn't have to be because a lot of times it's more about, you know, the theme than the actual supporting details. The few times, though, however, that I have pushed myself to sit down and read a book, I'm always glad that I did. Like, I can't think of a time I read a book and I'm like, man, I wish I didn't read that book. But it is hard. It's really, really hard to get through fiction. Um, I remember this one book I read, Make Lemonade. It was a very good book. And I had to do a project on it. I really liked reading Harry Potter, The Chamber of Secrets, and, you know, Pride and Prejudice. That was a book I was very upset that I had to read that book. And I told myself, hey, as soon as I read the book, I'll watch the movie because I knew the movie came out. You know, the movie was out, but it was maybe like a little old and I hadn't seen it. And so I promised myself I would read the book before I watched the movie. That was fun. And it's one of my favorite books. So, you know, the travel itinerary is based on books. Again, something that I think could help me get interested in reading the books and stuff like that. Because I do like reading. It's just hard to stick with it. Yeah, so I kind of agree with this author. Now, what I do like to do is to record myself telling a story that I make up in the moment. I don't like writing fiction. I don't like writing much of anything. I like just doing, I think they say like stream of consciousness type stuff. I record that and then I can work with that. I wish I knew that when I was in college, but oh well. Okay. I think that would have helped me quite a bit. Because I remember sitting in the library for hours and hours doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, man. So, some tools that I didn't use, I think I did maybe on this one particular occasion, I did a brainstorm and I wrote down all my ideas and then I just used the brainstorm. And it helped. It worked. Yeah. I had to read. Hmm. Professional whistler. Here's the thing. This book was published in the late 70s. This woman wanted to be a writer and a professional whistler. Okay. These are skills. I mean, people are allowed to have a lot of random skills. I don't understand. It's not weird to have an eclectic mix of interests. I mean, okay, we can say it's weird, but it's not that. It shouldn't elicit negative behavior towards that person. Okay. Developing a new self image. All right, so if I'm going to do this, I need to go ahead and do this. All right, travel, study, write. Travel, study, right. Oh man. What? Well, travel, study, right. For this, it's going to be really simple. All we have to do is figure out a place to go. I mean, we're talking about winners. Award ceremonies? Award ceremonies? Popular award ceremonies? Popular annual award ceremonies? Popular public annual award ceremonies? Ooh, this is cool. Very cool. Okay, so that one's not going over very well. Travel, study, write. right. So I am not really getting much of a trouble. I feel like you have to go to an award ceremony. I mean, it's called the Winners. What else could it be? It could be, oh, I like this one. Go to an arcade, local arcade. Study. Wasn't there a chapter on defining the goals? Getting on with becoming a comfortable winner. I like that one. Let's go to page 52. Anyway, we're going to an arcade. We're going to read getting read read winner chapter. And for the right, practice principles from book while learning at arcade games. Yeah, I think that's good. The comfortable learner becomes one by getting on with the work necessary to attain his or her goals. So this chapter isn't what I thought it would be, but it still works. Yeah. Starting date. The whole daily thing is making this not fit so well. Let's go back. Let's go back here. And then go here. Okay, I like that one. All right, we're done. Cool. See you.